Yeah, I've come to the conclusion now that Justin, the tacky-headed mackdaddy, son of Satan, quasi-Zionist Trudeau, is a complete and utter racist when it comes to Indigenous Canadians, First Nations, Natives in Canada. Justin Trudeau does not care about Natives. Justin Trudeau doesn't give a damn about Indigenous First Nations Canadians. And I even go so far as to say that Justin the Tackhead Mac Daddy Trudeau is racist against natives. And the only time he shows natives any attention is when he needs their vote. Then he'll dress up like natives, he'll dance with natives, he'll go up to natives and he'll use them like trophies, like Uncle Tom's, like there's my porch monkey right here, my little native, my window dressing. And then when he's prime minister, he don't need you all anymore. He throws you back into your reserves with your poisonous water. Now, the icing on the cake came yesterday when a woman made her way into a liberal fundraiser, a bunch of rich white liberals who are some of the most racist individuals on the planet, more racist than the Ku Klux Klan, because at least the Ku Klux Klan, they just don't want to have anything to do with black folk or natives or anybody who's not white. Uh, the white liberals are even worse because they use minorities for their own benefit to make them more powerful. And then once they got the power, they do everything that is possible to wreck the lives of minorities and natives and others. So that's why they're even worse than the Ku Klux Klan and Adolf Hitler and all those people. But a woman made her way into a liberal fundraiser and was protesting the fact that the Mac Daddy has been prime minister for almost 4 years now, and very little has been done to clean up the water supply on many native reserves. Native Canadians, Indigenous Canadians, the basic human right of water is denied to them because the water supply is poisonous. And she protested that. Anybody would. And she was dragged out by the police. And the Mac Daddy said, "Oh, thanks for the donation. Thanks for the donation. You're coming into our rich white liberal crowd. We don't need you right now. We don't need you. Just wait a few months and then we'll come to you and use you for votes. But right now we don't need your kind. So get out and thanks for the thanks for the fun. Thanks for the donation. You poor little native giving us donations to come protest." That's what he did. Threw out. Thanks for the donation. Yeah, he apologized, but you know what? The apology is not genuine, and I'll tell you why. For a number of reasons. Number one, let's go back to the beginning. The water supply has been poisonous for a while now. And I mean, the basic human right, you get this human right everywhere. Water, it's God's gift to mankind. You get this in North Korea, even in North Korea. The basic right to water exists. Even in jail, the basic right to water exists. Even on death row, the basic right to water exists. Even Jesus, when he was being crucified, even the people who crucified him gave him water before he died. And that basic right to water is being denied to the people who were on this land before anybody else. Natives, First Nations, Indigenous. The first people, and Justin the Tackhead Mac Daddy Trudeau says, "I don't care. I'm not doing anything, but I'll go give $47 million to the country of Yemen," which he just did just yesterday. And then on top of that, the billions he's given to other countries, billions to go to Indonesia to help them fix their infrastructure, billions to Afghanistan to help them rebuild their military, billions to African and Middle Eastern countries to help them with the food crisis, and millions of dollars to Omar Carter, who did nothing with his life except kill 2 soldiers, who, by the way, is now scot-free for killing 2 soldiers. That's the thing. And then, of course, free laptops, free dental care, free housing for illegals and refugees. But natives don't even get the basic human right to water in Canada. It's poisonous. You will die if you drink it. And almost no money has been spent to fix the problem. Almost nothing. And this woman comes in here in that fundraiser, in that cesspit of evil. I mean, she should have, I hope she took a shower to wash off all the sulfur that is on her skin for even entering that cesspool, that pit of hell in Toronto, that liberal fundraiser, to do her duty, to protest the fact that the government is giving money to just about every other country and not even seriously fixing the problem of natives living in poisonous water. And Justin Tacky and mackdaddy Trudeau doesn't even acknowledge her. Just remark saying, thank you for the donation. And here's another piece of evidence that I say that Justin Tacky, son of Satan, quasi-Zionist Trudeau, mackdaddy, is also racist against Indigenous Canadians, and he doesn't care about y'all. Look at Jody Wilson-Raybould. I mean, look at this. You see, and as I just said, the only time these people care about natives or other minorities is when they are using them. And if they are not falling in line and kissing the white liberals' backside, kissing Mr. Charlie his backside, and doing exactly what they are told and being a good little native, mookie little native, Mr. Moo Moo over here, window dressing for Trudeau, then they're trash. They're absolute trash. The first native woman to be Attorney General of Canada thrown out like trash because she didn't want to help Justin, the tacky-headed mackdaddy, son of Satan, quasi-Zionist Trudeau, protect a criminal organization. And now it's been proven on tape recordings, which CTV and all the news companies have just shown. It's proven now that Michael Wernick and Justin the tacky-head mackdaddy Trudeau were pressuring the first native woman to be Attorney General of Canada. They were pressuring her to follow them and be complicit in protecting a criminal organization. That's like protecting the Bloods and the Crips. SNC Lavalin. In fact, I'd prefer they protect the Bloods and the Crips because, I mean, you know, those guys are not, you know, they're nothing, you know what I mean? They have mental issues, all that kind of stuff. I'd rather protect them than this slimy, sleazy SNC Lavalin, which has been accused of pimping, which has been accused of bribery, which has been accused of all sorts of stuff, and the government is telling this first native woman to protect this company. She says, no, I ain't gonna do it. No, no. Well, then Justin the tacky-head mackdaddy Trudeau says, you're fired then. You're a native, you need to stand in line. And if you don't stand in line, you're fired. Calling her all sorts of stuff. I mean, and that's it. And then what's even worse is that Gerald Butts and the mackdaddy actually dared to suggest that, okay, to add insult to injury, we will put Jody Wilson-Raybould in charge of Indian affairs. So she would have to be responsible for the oppression of her own people. One of those things being the white paper, which is one of the most oppressive pieces of documentation that have ever in world history. I think it's even worse than even apartheid itself. At least apartheid didn't deny black folk in South Africa the ability to advance themselves and to create their own nation. The white paper says, you know, this is you are federal crown, a ward of the crown, like. And she was gonna, let's add the first native woman to be in charge of that. Add insult to injury. So Justin the tacky-head mackdaddy Trudeau is a racist. You know what? I'll just go to, he does not care about Indigenous Canadians. And any Indigenous Canadian who even thinks about voting for Justin the tacky-head mackdaddy Trudeau or any liberal in the next election, you will make Uncle Tom look like a member of the Black Panthers. I mean, you will be the worst kind of sellout. I mean, that would be like a Jew voting for Adolf Hitler. That would be like a black man in South Africa voting for P.W. Botha. I mean, that would be like an Indian voting for Andrew Jackson, native Indian. If a First Nations person, I mean, whatever. I mean, nobody should be voting for Justin Pataki and Magna Trudeau. White folk, black folk, Chinese folk, Indian, whatever. But if a native were to actually have so little self-respect that they would actually even think about voting for Justin Pataki and Magna Trudeau, then you really must hate yourself and your people. I mean, you are a sellout. You would be really, really pathetic. Really pathetic. Because he doesn't care about you people. In fact, he considers you to be some kind of you people. The only time he ever cares about the natives, or any Canadian for that matter, but especially the natives, because they're the most vulnerable, along with black folk, the only time he cares about them is when he needs their vote. And then when he's elected, you go back to your reserve with your dusty up self and your nappy head and the feathers up in your head and with your dirty, contaminated drinking water and your poor, stricken self. Go on back. I don't need you anymore. I got my votes. I used you up good and proper. I used up everything you gave me like a sponge, and now I'm throwing you back into your reserve. Go on back. Get lost. I don't want you anymore. So, really, native, this is a plea. Take it from, and I'm part native, I'm 8% native. I'm 8%. Do not even think about voting for Justin Pataki and Magna Trudeau. Even if you have been a liberal all your life, I mean, vote NDP if you have to. Vote Green if you have to. Vote for whatever if you have to. Vote for the Rhinoceros Party if you have to. If you really don't want to vote Conservative, okay. But don't vote Liberal. Man, have some self-respect. And I'm saying this because the natives, they voted for Trudeau very big in 2015. You really don't have an excuse then, but okay, fine. You didn't think that he was going to leave you, abandon you with poisonous drinking water and give your tax dollars to all these different countries and insult and abuse the first native woman to ever become attorney general and mock a person who's concerned about her people dying because of contaminated drinking water at a rich liberal fundraiser. But now you know all that stuff, man. So have some self-respect for yourself. Do not vote for the liberal. Any native who votes liberal, I weep for you. I weep for you. You're sad. You're a sellout. You are Uncle Tom. You're a porch monkey. You are nothing. It's like you are just weak. So think about what I said. But I can tell you this. Justin, the tackhead and MacDaddy, son of Satan, quasi-Zionist Trudeau, doesn't give a damn about natives in Canada. This is the Nation.